It was a Tuesday morning, under a clear, beautiful, late summer sky. But in a matter of hours, the world would be irrevocably altered. What you're about to see isn't just a recounting of history. It's the story of how a single day redrew the map of our modern world, reshaped our fears, and redefined our concept of security. On September 11, 2001, the unthinkable happened. It was an event so seismic, its aftershocks are still being felt decades later. But beyond the headlines and the heart-wrenching images, what truly changed? How did the fall of two towers in New York City send ripples across continents, affecting everything from how we travel to how we communicate, and even how we see each other? We're going to peel back the layers of that complex legacy to understand the world we inhabit today. Let's rewind. The year is 2001. The internet is still finding its feet. Airport security is a relatively simple affair, and the concept of a war on terror doesn't exist in the public lexicon. On that morning, 19 individuals, radicalized by extremist ideology, hijacked for commercial airliners. Their targets were iconic symbols of American economic and military power. At 8:46 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 struck the North Tower of the World Trade Center. Just 17 minutes later, United Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the South Tower. The world watched, live on television, in stunned disbelief. The horror wasn't over. At 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77 plowed into the Pentagon, the heart of the U.S. military. A fourth plane, United Airlines Flight 93, was also headed for Washington, D.C., likely targeting the Capitol building or the White House, but on that flight, an extraordinary act of courage unfolded. Passengers and crew, having learned of the other attacks via phone calls, fought back against their hijackers. Their struggle resulted in the plane crashing into a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, preventing further catastrophe. The heroism aboard Flight 93 was the first defiant response in a new kind of war. In the immediate aftermath, the world stood still. For the first time in history, all civilian air traffic in the United States was grounded. Borders were sealed. The global financial markets were thrown into chaos. But amidst the dust and despair, a profound sense of unity emerged. Stories of heroism were everywhere. Firefighters climbing doomed staircases, police officers guiding people to safety, and ordinary citizens helping one another through the unimaginable. The phrase "I love you" was the last thing heard on countless phone calls from the towers, and the plane's a testament to the human spirit in the face of absolute terror. The attacks claimed the lives of nearly 3,000 people from over 90 countries, a stark reminder that this was not just an attack on America, but an attack on the global community. The world mourned together. Vigils were held from London to Sydney. The French newspaper Le Monde famously declared, "Nous sommes tous Américains, we are all Americans." This global solidarity was powerful, but it was also the prelude to a new and turbulent era. The most immediate and visible impact was on global travel. Before 9/11s, you could arrive at the airport 30 minutes before your flight and walk to your gate with minimal screening. Overnight, that reality vanished. The Transportation Security Administration, or TSA, was created in the U.S., and similar security bodies were strengthened worldwide. We were introduced to long lines, full body scanners, restrictions on liquids, and the routine of taking off our shoes and belts. Airports transformed from simple transit hubs into fortified security checkpoints. This wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a fundamental shift in our perception of freedom of movement. The open sky, once a symbol of boundless possibility, now carried a shadow of potential threat. Beyond the airport, the digital world was also profoundly changed. The attacks triggered a massive expansion of government surveillance. Programs aimed at monitoring communications, both foreign and domestic, were enacted with unprecedented speed and scope. The Patriot Act in the U.S. and similar legislation in other countries gave governments sweeping new powers to collect data in the name of national security. This sparked a fierce and ongoing debate about the balance between security and privacy. Where do we draw the line? How much personal freedom are we willing to sacrifice for the promise of safety? This question, born from the ashes of 9/11s, remains one of the defining ethical dilemmas of our time. The political and military landscape of the 21st century was also forged in the fires of that day. Less than a month after the attacks, the United States and its allies launched Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, targeting al-Qaeda and the Taliban regime that harbored them. This marked the beginning of the War on Terror, a conflict with no clear front lines, no traditional enemy state, and no foreseeable end. In 2003, this war expanded with the invasion of Iraq. These conflicts have had a staggering human cost, reshaping the Middle East and contributing to geopolitical instability that persists to this day. Entire generations in countries like Afghanistan and Iraq have grown up knowing nothing but war. The economic impact was equally profound. The attacks caused an estimated $40 billion in insurance losses. The airline and travel industries were devastated. But the long-term costs were far greater. The wars in Iraq and Afghanistan have cost trillions of dollars, diverting resources that could have been invested in infrastructure, education, or healthcare. This massive expenditure has had a lasting impact on national debts and global economic priorities. But the legacy of 9/11s isn't just one of conflict, security, and surveillance. It's also a story of resilience, adaptation, and a renewed appreciation for the first responders who run toward danger when everyone else is running away. The attacks spurred incredible advancements in emergency preparedness and interagency communication. We learned hard lessons about how to respond to mass casualty events, and those lessons have saved lives in subsequent crises, from natural disasters to other terrorist attacks. The cultural impact is perhaps the most difficult to quantify, but it's all around us. The attacks permeated our movies, our books, and our public discourse. For a time, it felt like the world was divided into a simple binary: us versus them. Fear of the other fueled a rise in xenophobia and Islamophobia, creating deep social fissures that we are still working to heal. Yet, in the face of this division, countless individuals and communities have worked tirelessly to build bridges of understanding, promoting interfaith dialogue and challenging prejudice. They remind us that the most powerful antidote to hatred is not more hatred, but empathy and connection. So, what does it all mean for us today? We live in a world that is undeniably a product of September 11th. We navigate its security measures, debate its privacy implications, and live with its geopolitical consequences. The memory of that day serves as a constant, somber reminder of our vulnerability. But it also stands as a monument to our strength. It reminds us of the incredible bravery of ordinary people, the unifying power of compassion, and our collective ability to endure, to rebuild, and to strive for a better, safer world. The story of 9/11s is not just about the fall of towers. It's about how humanity, in its darkest hour, chose to stand back up. The world was changed forever, but the enduring spirit of hope was not extinguished. Thank you for joining us on this journey through a pivotal moment in modern history. If this story resonated with you, and you want to explore more events that have shaped our world, make sure to subscribe to the TimeKeeper HQ. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Until next time, stay curious.